going to be going through today. So, as the title says, mortars and pestles. Yeah, won't be using those. I just happen to have two of them. So we're going to be making jambalaya today. So this is going to be pretty fun. Jambalaya is like a recipe that's it's like a dish that like you can. It's pretty much just like as long as you have the base of like celery, onion, and bell pepper, like you can kind of go crazy. What's up, Zild? How's your Sunday going? But it's really just very open to interpretation as far as like what kind of ingredients you want to use. But there's just kind of the base that of the Holy Trinity, as it's called. The celery, onion, and bell pepper is going to be like kind of the base flavor in the dish. And other stuff that we're going to be using today, I have some chopped garlic here. I have some leftover crushed tomatoes. We're going to be using the rest of that. I have one andouille sausage. We have the sausage there. And we're going to be using, as well as all that, we're going to be utilizing shrimp. We got I have them in the sink with some cold water running over them. But it's actually 2 bags of these, so it's actually 20 ounces of shrimp. So it's a lot of shrimp. It might be too much shrimp, but you know what? You can never have too much shrimp as long as you enjoy it anyway. So we have a whole bunch of shrimp in a colander with some cold water running over them right now. So they'll be ready to go when we're actually ready to use them. But for right now, they're just kind of sitting over there. I just want to show you the bag. You just have these. These are raw shrimp. They're frozen, but they're already tail off, and then they're peeled and deveined. You can get them raw, frozen. Like I would recommend getting them raw and frozen generally, unless you live someplace where you can get them fresh. But the raw and frozen, and then like you can get them with like the vein, like everything, just like normal, like head-on, like frozen kind of thing. But this is a lot more convenient. I don't like having to de-shell and devein shrimp. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like it. So you were expecting the cook street to be about meth production, but this is better. Yeah, it's a little bit tastier. Well, I guess depending on what your preferences are, but harder to devein while frozen, I guess. Well, you'd have to thaw them and then devein them afterwards, but I mean, you can get them like that. And maybe if you would prefer to do that, then that's fine. I did that before, but I didn't really like the amount of work that had to go in to doing it. So we're going to be using all of that stuff, and then there's going to be a lot of seasoning going on. So some of the things that we're going to be using today, I picked this up just last week. I have this. It's called Louisiana style Cajun seasoning. It's okay. It's not bad. I was kind of wishing that I could have like smelled it like before I got it, but I picked it up and it's not bad. But we're going to be adding a bunch of different stuff. Obviously, salt, pepper is going to be going in, but I'm also going to be using some crushed red peppers here, red pepper flakes. Because of the tomatoes that I'm going to be using in it, we're also going to be using oregano and basil. Don't have a lot of oregano left. There's not a lot left in there, but some basil as well. And then I'm also going to be using I got some like random hot sauce. It's basically like a kind of a red hot sauce, but this is like a garlicky one. I'll put a little bit of that in. We're going to be kind of doing a lot of tasting as far as that stuff goes. It's really kind of all up to your preference of taste as far as that goes, and we'll get to that part. When we get to that part, I'll kind of show you guys that. The idea of the whole thing is evil because it makes you so hungry. No way, man. I see you gotta watch it get hungry, and then you gotta go do it yourself. That's what's gonna happen. A shrimp is a prawn? Yeah, probably. Or a pawn, one of the two. You probably don't want to put chess pieces into your jambalaya, though. What's up, Kuno? How's it going? Welcome back. Great to see you. I hope your Sunday's going fantastic. I hope everybody's weekend's going great. And what's up, Weasel, as well? Never seen this cooking channel before, and I'm so goddamn ready. Nice, Weasel. Alright, well, it's good to have you, man. It's great to have you. All right. So the first thing we got to do, we're going to chop up the sausage, the celery, the onion, and the bell pepper. Once we get all that, ready, then we're going to start cooking. We don't want to chop like the sausage is the thing we're going to cook up first. We don't want to cook that up and then start chopping, because then we're going to end up having to rush. And we don't want to rush. We want to get all of our stuff ready to go. So that's what we got to do. I'm going to move this celery out of the way. We're going to get this sausage chopped up. Now, the last time I did this, I actually chopped the sausage just down like this, so that we had like little like coins of sausage. And I don't think that worked out like that great, because they kind of deformed and stuff, and they didn't really get as brown as I wanted them to. So I'm going to cut this in half, and then we're going to kind of chop it from there, so that way hopefully they don't get all shriveled up and stuff. You're not the boss of my jambalaya. I'll end the bishops and rooks all I want. Oh no, don't do it. They're made of plastic. So what I did is I just cut them in half, and I'm just gonna just do a chop like this way. Hopefully they'll kind of brown up a little bit nicer. Want them to get nice and brown. We're going to be cooking the sausage first, and then we're going to be pulling it out of the pan, and then cooking the vegetables afterwards. So that's why we want to make sure we have all this stuff ready to go. So when I'm chopping here, I'm just using I'm not just going straight up and down here with the knife. We're having a back and forth motion, letting the knife help us do. Let the knife help you. All right, that's what you got to do. And of course, making sure to keep your tips of your fingers back behind the blade of the knife. And you're a lot less likely to cut yourself. So. This sausage I'm going to go ahead and get in a little bowl here. And so that way we're going to have everything kind of ready to go. Like I said, we're going to be cooking the sausage and then pulling it back out after it's nice and browned up. So I'm going to be putting it back into this bowl afterwards. Okay, very good. I'm going to set this off to the side here really quick, and then we're going to start chopping these vegetables. And we're going to get all the vegetables, the celery, the peppers, and the onion, and the garlic are all going to be going into the pan at the same time. So we're going to be getting all of them kind of chopped up and then put in a little container. That way we can just kind of, once we pull the sausage out, we go bam, throw all that stuff in there. We just got to be like Emerald and get the stuff going. So. How did I get the idea to do a cooking stream? Sorry, it's my first cooking stream. Never seen you doing this, Billy. Yeah, like Kuro said, I used to manage a restaurant. It's definitely cooking is definitely something that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that I think is I always watch watching cooking shows, and I feel like I have some kind of simple and kind of fun stuff that I like to make, and I want to spread the cooking love around, I guess, is kind of the idea anyway. So that, it's just like something that I enjoy, and streaming is definitely a big part of my life, and so and since cooking is such a big part of my life, I want to make sure to have you guys have a part of that too. That's basically the whole idea of it, I suppose. It's midnight now and I'm cooking jambalaya. Oh god. Midnight? Well, that's the perfect time to cook jambalaya. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to chop up the celery first. I'm going to go ahead and chop the ends off here. I got a little bowl over here that I'm going to throw that in. And we're going to chop the bottoms of these off too. I did rinse these, but I am going to chop off any kind of brown bits on the celery here that I do not want. That looks pretty good. Take that off. Just gotta wipe off my knife here really quick. Got all that sausagey stuff on it. Alright. Alright, so again, same as with the sausage, we're gonna be kind of, I'm going to go ahead and chop this in half, and then we'll kind of put this down. Just kind of, you want to kind of get anything that you're chopping like down as flat on the board as you can, so that way it's less likely to kind of roll. And then again, just kind of making sure your fingertips are behind your knuckles, and then I'm like literally using my knuckles like as a guide against the knife, and then just kind of working my fingers back, making sure to not get my fingertips in front of my knuckles. I'm going to do pretty thin slices on the celery here. They don't, yeah, I mean, you could do them thicker or thinner. They're going to still be crunchy when we actually go to eat the jambalaya. They're not going to be, like, this isn't going to cook for several hours or anything like that. Like in a soup, quite frequently celery is just completely, like, it has absolutely no texture at all, but it'll still have a little bit of crunch in this particular one. Yeah, how's your Sunday going, Psycho? Cooking's awesome. Celery is so nice and crunchy. Oh shit, did the donation just happen? Oh shit, my bad. I can't hear anything that's going on in the stream, so I completely whiffed on it. So that's my bad. Hold on, what happened? Thanks for the donation, Weasel. Holy crap! Smurlak Weasels dropping $5. That's a sub. That's what that is. Sub hype, pseudo sub hype. Cooking Billy. Someone needs to put money behind this idea. Thank you so much for the $5, Weasel. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for helping me stay full-time with the stream and for helping me pay the bills. For helping me buy food for the cooking stream. So, we have the celery chopped up here. Really nice. And we're going to get that in this container. Just like all the rest of the vegetables. Alright, very good. Wipe off my hands. Don't need them all wet. Alright, now we're going to chop the bell pepper. There's a lot of different ways that I've seen people chop bell peppers. The way that I'm going to be chopping this one is we're just going to chop it in half. And what that does is it just leaves us with, I mean, you know, you have the all the seeds and stuff in here, and the kind of the pith or whatever. And we're just going to kind of reach our finger in and then just kind of pull it out, kind of using my thumb to kind of press the top here. And it just kind of pops this whole kind of seedy section out. And so now we still have more pith in here and stuff like that. All that. It doesn't taste very pleasant, this white stuff. It's quite bitter, and it's not pleasant. So I'm just gonna like kind of reach in there and pinch that stuff out. And there's still seeds in here too, a little bit of them. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and kind of just tap on it and just kind of help knock all the seeds out. What's up, Bad Lou? Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. And that's pretty good, plenty good enough. And same thing with the other side. Just gotta reach in, pull that thing out. Sometimes you'll end up with like little spots that you don't like on the green pepper, and that's fine. Just cut them out, no biggie. There's a little spot on the bottom of the bell pepper where like the little kind of, I don't know, other stem is or whatever the hell you call it. So I just usually cut that out. I don't think it really matters, but I'm gonna get these seeds off the table here. Those don't taste really good, and they're kind of like bitter, not really pleasant. Where's my chef's hat? It wouldn't fit in the camera anyway. What's up, Nintendo Slave? How's your Sunday going? Great to see you. Just wiping off the knife again. And the kind of thing with bell peppers is they don't have, you know, I mean, you could put them down like this and then chop them, but the problem with that is their skin is extremely tough, and quite frequently your knife is going to be slipping on those, so I would not recommend chopping them like that. What I like to do is kind of use, kind of like, again, my knuckles being in front of my fingers, and we're kind of holding the whole pepper like this, and we're kind of just working our way through the pepper like this, and then you can kind of reposition and grab it again. And just keeping my fingertips like just at the very end of the green pepper, and then at the very end, just kind of take your time. I'm not a professional chef or anything, but at least and I don't cut myself too often. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other side ready first. So again, just kind of holding it like this, with my fingertips back, my knuckles forward, and then just kind of slicing. Again, I'm not just pushing up and down. Like it's just like if you're cutting like a piece of paper like with a knife or whatever, you're not like pushing straight down with the knife. You're pulling. You're allowing the knife blade to run along and slice through the vegetable. Because if you just, you can have a razor sharp knife that's capable of a push cut, but in general, you're gonna kind of like just mash the food a little bit more, and we're not interested in like mashing food here. All right, it's not the case. I should put a chef hat on my wish list. Oh no. Oh no. All right, so we're just gonna do. Maybe that's a few too many peppers to have all chopping at once. I should probably cut it down a little bit. I'm going to go over this another couple of times to make sure I don't have any crazy big chunks. Not too big of a deal though. Not too big of a deal at all. So kind of wipe my knife off. Get this in here. Good. And then instead of taking that whole huge chunk of green peppers, in the restaurant that I managed, I certainly wasn't a stranger to chopping green peppers at all. And I would, you develop the fastest way possible to chop everything, but it's not always necessarily the best way, especially for someone that's new to chopping. Is that a hot pepper? Nope. This is just a green bell pepper. It's not a hot pepper at all. Smart. And again, just kind of making sure my fingertips back behind my knuckles. Like the more you grab as far as like when you're chopping anything, like if you just try and chop way too much of it, you're just not going to get a very even chop, and it's just not going to come out exactly right. So instead of rushing, there's not really any, when you're cooking at home, there's absolutely no reason to just rush. It's not like things have to come out perfect, but it also, when you grab more stuff than what you can kind of handle, then the likelihood of you maybe making an accident is going to go up. Is it done yet? Can you eat it? I guess you could eat it. What's up, Chunk? How's it going? How's your Sunday going, sir? Jambalaya? Yeah, Google it. I couldn't tell you like the origin of the name of it or anything like that. I just know that's what it's called. I don't know what it's called. I just know the taste it makes. All right. So we got the bell pepper done here. Get that in there, just with the rest of it. Wipe my hands off. How often do you stream cooking? We were doing it one a week, but at this point we're kind of more in a every other week or every 3 weeks kind of a thing. It's kind of, I haven't done a whole lot of cooking streams, but I don't have like a huge amount of recipes in my repertoire, I guess you'd say. So I've already kind of cooked the things that I'm extremely familiar with, that I cook for myself, like on a weekly basis or just really frequently. So I feel like I want to take time and just kind of get familiarized with some more stuff. Like I've cooked jambalaya before, but I've only cooked it like a couple of times, and so I just wanted to kind of make sure that I, had a recipe down that I thought was, solid and tasted good. Although, like I said before, this is extremely, you can experiment a lot with a dish like this. Like the main thing is that we're getting the celery, the peppers, and the onions. Oh man, people dropping the money like crazy. What's going on? Hey Billy, I hear Houndmasters are really good against the Stove Boss. All right, Kuno, listen. I'm fairly certain that Houndmasters are not going to be exceptional against any sort of metallic object. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe if he hits it with a mark target thing to reduce its protection, then maybe. But I'm pretty sure it's hard to make an oven bleed. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be. Thank you so much for the $10, man. I really appreciate the support so much. Thanks for helping me stay full time with the stream, and thanks for helping me pay the bills, bud. Yeah, see, they're gonna steal my sausage. That's not cool. We need that for the jambalaya. All right, next up, we got an onion here. We got a sweet onion. You could use a. I don't think I'd use a red onion. You could either a sweet onion or I don't know, sweet onion, Spanish onion, whatever. So probably whatever. You'd use whatever you feel like as far as an onion goes, I suppose. But this is what we're using today. So we're gonna start by chopping the ends off of the onion here. Some people have you leave the kind of root end on. I'm not a huge fan of doing that myself. I could swap the sausage for Shambler. Yeah, I mean, you have to beat the Shambler first, and yeah, wandering through the streets in zero light is actually a lot more difficult than it sounds. So I chopped the ends off, and I just put a score in with my knife along the side of it there, so that way I can kind of peel off the outer layer of the onion here. Alright, very good. And I kind of wipe the cutting board off here, make sure we don't have any of that kind of outer onion paper. We don't need none of that. Not the onion. No, man, onions are great. If you think you don't like onions, then I would say that you just haven't had onions prepared the correct way, for sure. Because onions have a lot of different flavors in them, and there's definitely a way that you haven't had them that could be awesome for you. I'm gonna go ahead and wedge out this core just right now. Just kind of cut it at an angle both ways just to wedge that out, and then I'll cut right down that middle. They make me cry. Well, as far as onions bothering your eyes go, Naked Onion stream just got a mature rating. Yeah, no kidding, Kudo. As far as onions making you cry go, we got another thing. I can't see these things, guys. What's happening? Can't have Dark Kuno making me look like a chump. $5 from Weasel. Damn, Smart Like Weasel. Everybody's donating today. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Thanks for $5. It's freaking really generous. Thank you so much. Thanks for helping me stay full time with the stream, and thanks for helping me pay the bills, guys. God damn. I gotta get like a wireless head thing or something like that. I kind of do want to have like a wireless headset, so that way I have a mic on me instead of the microphone on the camera right here. That's what we're using in the kitchen. We don't have our other microphone. But if onions are like really making you cry, having a sharp knife helps a lot. If you're cutting an onion with like a serrated knife, it's gonna like make all the fucking onion gas like fly at you. Having a sharp knife goes a long way to ensuring that onions don't bother you. You can also put onions in the fridge. I think that helps. You could soak them in some cold water, like a Bluetooth earbud. Maybe. Like there's different wireless kind of things that I've looked at. I haven't really found anything that's like exceptional, because I want to be able to not only talk into it but also hear what's going on. And a lot of the wireless kind of headsets that you see like on cooking shows and things like that are just the microphone, not like a headset. You can't hear anything in it. But so sharp unserrated is definitely the way to go as far as especially with cutting onions. So if you don't have, like, all you need is like one chef knife in your kitchen. You don't need, like, even if you don't have a paring knife, that's totally fine. I don't own a paring knife. You know, it's certainly not necessary. One investment of a chef knife is definitely a pretty awesome thing. So a sharp knife today keeps the onion gas away. That's right. Also, an onion can help keep the dentist away because you can throw them at them, if you didn't know that. But let's go ahead and, so again, with making sure that my fingertips are behind my knuckles, we're going to go ahead and I'm cutting the way that I cut onions is like I cut at a bit of an angle, like down like this, so that way when I cut through the onion, it doesn't chop like the back end of it all the way through, so that kind of helps keep it together. And I'm literally using my knuckle like as a guide as I'm going down here on the onion, getting pretty thin slices. I'm just trying to go on slow here. All right, and then what you can do to kind of help make sure if it's the first time chopping an onion, or if it's just like your first time like using a knife, I wouldn't recommend doing this. But to make sure that the onion like kind of breaks apart when you go to chop it, I do like a horizontal slice, kind of making sure to angle the knife down, like down, not up, so that way if you do slip, you don't go towards your fingers. You know, you're kind of keeping your hands on top of the onion. You kind of go down like that, and I kind of just did nick myself because I wasn't cutting through the onion, but I didn't actually cut. But anyway, so that's what we're doing. What's up, Jarbrick? How's your Sunday going? And then we're going to go ahead and chop down like this. And then when we get to the back part of the onion here, we're going to stop, and then we're going to kind of just let that, we're going to put that down, and then we're going to finish chopping it just like that. We don't need like a super exact chop. Like I was literally like using the knife, and then I like kind of bumped my knuckle. But it's not bleeding. I just kind of bumped myself with the knife, I guess. Alright. Oh yes, yeah, that beeping sound that you heard was the rice cooker. That's another thing that I kind of forgot to mention. I am using a rice cooker for this. I guess I had planned on talking about it a little bit later when we would have added rice into this dish. But I do have a cup and a half of rice in a rice cooker, and we will be adding that in. Not cooking the rice. You can cook the rice in the dish, like put raw rice in the dish and cook it like that. But I'm using a rice cooker because, for one, we don't want to like sit here and wait for the rice to finish, and also I have a rice cooker, so it makes my life a lot easier. So we don't need that. So again, with the onion, same thing we were doing before. Look, I can hear squirrels in the wall. Man, I swear to God, squirrels. And then again, same thing as before, angling down the knife. I'm just kind of making sure that the onion is going to kind of break apart nice. So we'll do an angle cut into the onion horizontally. And then, again, most of the way through the onion, stop, let that come down, and then finish it off just like that. I actually like chopping onions because when you're in a restaurant, you're having to chop a certain volume of onions and green peppers, like I certainly was. Many less onions will fill up a lot more. Like this was one onion, and we have all of this, right? Like how much you guys can see that is all the onion we got, all of that out of that onion. You can see the bell pepper that we got. Like there's celery on the bottom of this. Like this portion is just bell pepper. So when you're having to chop an equivalent volume of bell peppers to onions, you start to love onions because you don't have to chop nearly as many. Certainly had to chop. I probably had to chop like 10,000 green peppers in my life, or definitely thousands of them. No question there. No question. Maybe not 10,000. Probably more than that. I have no clue. I've never tried to actually kind of figure it out. Real men cook with napalm? Oh goodness. Real men eat the meat off the animal. Oh my god. What are you guys? We're not doing that. I'm just making. I'm gonna quick rinse off the shrimp that I have going a little bit more thoroughly, really, just to make sure that it's gonna be thawed in time for us. Yeah, that's definitely going fine. at least you were the kind of manager that did work. Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly, everything got done in the kitchen, as far as, you know, delivering food and prepping and making sauces and making orders and you know, doing payroll, scheduling, all that stuff. At certain points was all on my shoulders. So, current record holder for green pepper cutting. Yeah, no kidding. All right, so now we have all of our vegetables chopped. Obviously, I don't need to chop garlic. I have some chopped garlic in a jar already. Love this stuff, really nice. So I'm going to get the heat going here. We have a medium-high heat, a little bit closer to high heat going here. Once the pot we have starts to heat up. Excuse me. Once the pot starts to heat up, then we're going to get the sausage going in there. I think I'm done with the knife. I'll set that over here. What are we cooking anyway? We're cooking jambalaya. That's what we're cooking. But while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off. Make sure we're cleaning as we go. Makes my life a lot easier. All right, looks good. All right, and I have a wooden spoon as well. And that's what I'm going to be using for this, just to make sure that I don't scrape the bottom of this, because it's like a non-stick pot. Are you still dreaming? Maybe you're still dreaming a little bit, but it is, in fact, at least partially real life. The other thing that I did not talk about us using yet, which I don't know why I didn't, because it's right in front of my face, is we're going to be using chicken broth. So I just have a, this has 4 cups in it. We're going to be using a total of 3 cups of chicken broth. This only has like about a cup in it, so I'm going to be using the rest of this and then like a little bit more afterwards. So. But that's not quite yet. That's going to be coming up later. So this is very hot. This pot smokes like really freaking easily. I don't really know why. Don't need any oil. There's plenty of grease in the sausage, so we're going to just throw that in. And we're going to be making sure that we get a whole lot of color on this sausage. This is andouille sausage. You can use whatever sausage you like. Andouille is just kind of like a little bit of a spicy sausage. It's kind of, I guess it's sort of like a traditional thing to use with the dish, because it is like a kind of a southern kind of a Creole sausage. So that's what we're going to be using. Excuse me. So again, once we get all of this stuff nice and browned up, then we're going to be pulling it out, and then we're going to be adding in our onion, celery, and bell pepper. Thank you, girl. And we're starting to get a little bit of color on the sausage. This is kind of starting to be what we're looking for here, but we're going to kind of make sure that it's like that all around, not just on one side. So. And the reason that we're not like throwing all the vegetables in with this, and I really want to make sure that the sausage is like really thoroughly browned, because that's where a lot of the flavor is going to come from. And we're not going to be missing out on any of this flavor, because even if it's going to be sticking to the bottom of the pan, you know, we're going to be using all of it inside of this as well. And I don't want to throw all the vegetables in here, because it's going to like kind of stop the sausage from getting a little bit as brown as I want. And I'm going to pull the sausage out because I don't want, like, this onion, the vegetables are all going to have to cook down a good bit to make sure they're all nice and tender. They're starting to get tender. and I don't want the sausage to kind of get burnt or anything like that. So you kind of start to see the nice, nice browning that's going on there. One of the boxes, water from boiled chicken. You know what? You can make your own chicken broth if you want, but I'm not going to be making that. I don't have a. If I was going to be making chicken stock, then I would use a slow cooker. I don't own a slow cooker, so all right. These are looking really nice. Let me go ahead and get those off into this bowl here. Very good. All right. So you can see. Look at that. You can see the sizzle. You can see it. That looks freaking amazing. But now it's time to throw the vegetables in. You can see there's a good bit of grease in the pan from the sausage. So bam, get those vegetables in there. Add a slow cooker to your wish list? Alright, I'll have to do that. You still need a food processor on the wish list along with the rest of the things? Yeah, I don't own a food processor. You're correct, good boy. Alright, so these are going to take a little bit of time to cook down. Like, we're going to want to kind of get these vegetables starting to get a little bit kind of translucent, and once that happens, then we're going to start seasoning, and then we're going to throw in the tomatoes and then the chicken broth after that. At this point, I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper just to these. The salt's going to help pull the moisture out of the vegetables here. So I'm going to grab some salt here. Couple of pinches, and a little bit of pepper. I'm going to be tightening the thing on the pepper grinder. Just a few grinds. Like, I can see in the bottom of this. See if I can show you guys. Like, there's a lot of moisture in the pan. I don't know how well I can actually show you, but you can see a lot of moisture coming off the vegetables. You can kind of see it boiling there. Like. We want to wait until that's not happening anymore. I mean, there's going to be a moisture in the vegetables when we're done, but it's just you can see it running out of the vegetables, and we're kind of cooking it down. We make only real food here. You've never seen a box like for chicken broth in your life? Yeah, it's just chicken stock. Yeah, I don't. It's not something. I've never made chicken stock myself, or any kind of stock personally. I just never had the inclination to. What's up, Mutant, by the way? How's it going, man? I know how to cook, baby. Baby. It's what's for dinner. This is going to take a little bit of time to cook down, and that's totally fine, no problem. You can still see all kinds of moisture getting cooked off in those vegetables. You can see the steam just rolling up out of them. And for this recipe, what I would probably do, if you were going to be doing cooking your rice. What's up, Jenny? How's it going? American convenience is real, yeah. No kidding. For the chicken broth. If you were going to be cooking rice in this dish yourself, I'm using a cup and a half of rice. Like I said, you could use a cup and a half of rice, and after the point of which we kind of put chicken broth in it, then you can throw. I'll talk about it more when we get to that point. But after we put the chicken stock in, then we will be. Then you could put it in, and then it would have to, it's just like cooking the rice. Like it take about 20 minutes. You bring it up to a boil after you put the rice in, and then lower the heat down, and then let it simmer for 20 minutes, or let it be on low heat for about 20 minutes, or about there. Whenever the rice gets done, you can kind of take the lid off after 20 minutes and taste it. If it's still kind of got a bit of a bite to it, then you can let it go for another couple minutes. But I'm doing fantastic, Mutant. Thanks for asking. You'd better wash your goddamn rice. You don't have to wash it. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't rinse off your rice. Alright, just calm down. But, so still a good bit of moisture in these. We're going to let them cook for just a little bit longer. And then, oh, you know what I need to put in here that I didn't? I didn't put any garlic in. We're going to put, I don't know, like a couple of cloves worth. So I don't know, like a teaspoon of garlic in there. Should be good. That off to the side. Mix that in. Just kind of eyeballing it there. Not a big deal. As far as cooking goes, it's really all about flavor. If you don't like garlic, you don't even have to put any in there. I don't think it's like a necessarily traditional thing to put in there. It's just something that I love garlic. So. Alright, looks like we're going to be about ready here. There's not nearly as much moisture in you don't see like just a whole bunch of water boiling along the side of the vegetables, so these are looking really nice. They're starting to get kind of translucent, they're getting a little kind of soft. It's really smelling fantastic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to throw in the tomatoes. This is like a half a can. This is like 1 can. A can is like 14 ounces. So this is about 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes. So that's what we're going to be throwing in here next. And then we're going to be throwing the broth in afterwards. Mixing that up. And then the broth is going in next. Again, there's about a cup in here. I'm going to pour that in. Actually, going to rinse this out with the chicken broth, because why not? I'm going to make sure we get all the tomato goodness in there. Okay. Good. And we're going to want some more moisture in there, so we're going to go ahead and throw probably about half of this in. This is 4 cups, so in total we're putting 3 cups in. And if you were going to be cooking your rice in this, I'd probably put all 4, like a whole jug of this in here. But actually, maybe it's more a little bit closer to like 2 cups. But anyway, I'd put 4 cups of broth in if you were going to be cooking the rice in the dish. And then now that we have the chicken broth in there, I'm going to go ahead and add back in the sausage. Kind of make sure to kind of scoop that nice sausage grease in there. We want that grease. There's a lot of flavor in there. And we're going to be kind of bringing this up to a simmer, and then we're going to kind of turn the heat down a little bit. just so that way we can start to kind of reduce this down. And at this point, we're going to start adding a bunch of our seasonings, and we're going to be doing a good bit of tasting and just trying to see like where about the flavor is that we're looking for. I'm going to let the sausage be in there for just a little bit before I do anything. All this is too much? No, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. This is a really fantastic dish. This recipe that I'm making is like enough to feed 4 people, about 3 or 4. Alright, so this has been kind of going for just a little bit here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and give this a little taste. Just going to see where it's at. Okay. Still pretty bland, but just giving it a taste now, just kind of see like what the base flavor is. Like all the onions, the bell peppers, and the celery is giving us, along with the sausage, is definitely, you know, it's good to get a taste of like kind of what that base flavor is. It's still heating up. It's still not up to a boil yet. I'm actually going to bring it to a boil and then turn the heat down. So now I'm going to be adding in this Cajun seasoning that I got from the store. Like I said, it's okay. And according to the ingredients, it has garlic and salt and spices is what it says, and it has paprika. It says just for color, and then dehydrated onion and red pepper. It's pretty good. We're gonna be sprinkling this in. Probably about a good teaspoon in there. Not a lot comes out of that thing. I'm going to add that in. And I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of crushed red peppers. It's going to add like a nice little touch of heat to it. I'm not going to add a whole lot because they really they have a really nice flavor to them. I'm just going to put like basically like a couple of shakes in there. And because we have tomatoes in this dish, it certainly doesn't have to get tomatoes in it. But because it does have tomatoes in it, we're going to be adding some oregano and basil as well, because those go really fantastic with tomatoes. Yeah, it just says spices. Literally what the thing says. You also add dried peppers and garlic to the quenching oil to get different tastes. Yeah, so it's not a way that I've ever made rice, but I think that's I've heard of it before. I don't really have a whole lot of oregano. This is basically like a couple of flakes left in this, but I'm going to put what I have in there. This is starting to boil now, so we're going to turn the heat way down. And then I have a little bit of basil left. I'm not going to use all of this, just I'll use about a teaspoon there. Kind of get that mixed in. Now let this all kind of get incorporated. I'm also going to put a little bit of this this kind of Tabasco sauce in there. Just a little bit of it. This is like a I don't know, someone got me like a multi-pack of like Tabasco sauces, and this is just like a garlic hot sauce is what it literally says on it. I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there. I just like the flavor that it has, so I'm going to be kind of mixing that in. What's he making? We're making jambalaya cake. We're making jambalaya. I'm going to show you amazing bolognese one day. I don't know, Weasel. That's not a little. It's a little. Come on, it's a little. Alright, so now at this point what we're going to do is, like, like this is like about the amount that I've like added before to the dish, so we're gonna give it a little taste here, kind of see where we're at. Again, especially with this dish, it's like so much completely up to you, just whatever your personal preferences are. And that's it's tasting just a little, got a little bit of spice in there. What we're gonna, I do have one more thing that I'm gonna add. It's tasting really good. It smells really great. Just gonna keep mixing this here. One more thing that I'm gonna add. This is a very secret ingredient. It's a very expensive ingredient. It's something, I didn't use another spoon. Germs! It's boiling. It's time for secret ingredient it is. So, this is something that I received as a gift. It's not something that I would expect like most people to use in their standard culinary, like having their culinary kind of stock. But if you don't know what this is, it's my secret ingredient. And we're just going to be adding a pinch of it into the jambalaya. It really brightens up the dish. If you don't know what this is, you'll know what why I'm only going to be using a pinch of it. Because it is very potent. So we're just going to be grabbing a pinch of this, throwing that in. Actually, a little bit more. I didn't really grab very much. Get a little bit more of that in there. Getting that top back on, putting it over to the side. What is it? That's my secret ingredient. That's what that is. That's my super secret ingredient. So we're going to mix that in. And we're going to let this kind of simmer for just a little bit. Kind of reduce down. Kind of make sure all the flavors are getting incorporated. Once this kind of sits for another minute, then I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste and see what it's like. Like if you wanted to, you could put in bay leaves into this. Would be you could put in a bay leaf in here. You could put in like I used oregano and basil because of the tomatoes. You could put in thyme with it as well. What's up, Sirius? Do you use that little saffron while cooking? Yeah, you don't need a whole lot of it. Certainly not to even be able to taste it in a dish as big as this. But yeah, I received it is in fact saffron, and it is I received it as a gift. I've actually received it. But yeah, I received it as a gift, and something that I use sparingly every once in a while, and it's really, really great. It's extremely strong. It's extremely strong and extremely flavorful. Yeah, like if you're cooking for other people, definitely you could use a different spoon, but I'm not in a restaurant, I'm at home, so. Oh, that's great. Okay. So at this point, what I'm going to do is you can kind of see like the moisture's been kind of reducing a good chunk, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw in all that shrimp that I have. Exactly like Jenny said, it'll make things go yellow. Yeah, you do not want to use a lot of saffron. It is extremely expensive. So I should have said that it's LSD. Oh no. Well, Jenny got it though. So all right. So now we're going to add in the shrimp, and I have two of the packs of shrimp, and so it's a total of like 20 ounces of shrimp. It's a lot of shrimp. It might be a little bit too much shrimp, but it's going to be fine. So again, we've had 500 grams of nutmeg. It might be, just throw in whole nutmeg Just throw them all in there, let them boil, and just let it massacre your whole dish. So I'm going to be, I have the, again, I'm using frozen deshelled, deveined shrimp, and I got a couple of packs. They were on sale, so they've been kind of rinsing under cold water so that they're de-thawed. You don't want to use hot water. Like, the instructions on the bag have good methods, proper methods of defrosting, but you don't want to defrost with hot water. It's going to bring the temperature up in the shrimp, then you're going to run the risk of possibly getting sick. So alright, so I'm just making sure to strain off the shrimp a little bit. We're just going to go ahead and throw them all in there. A little bit, couple of bits on the end of the shrimp are frozen still, but that's alright. We're going to go ahead and get them in there. I'm going to turn the heat up, and we're going to bring that up to a simmer again. And then so that way we can get the shrimp. Shrimp do not take long to cook. So like I said, some of them are a little bit frozen. And turn the heat up here. So it's going to take a little bit longer than usual, but about 5 minutes is really all that they're going to take. Once they start to get red and start to kind of firm up, and they become like they're a little bit translucent the way when they're raw, and when they're cooked they are completely opaque. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of mix this thoroughly, and then we're just going to let it sit here, because adding all of those cold shrimp into the dish is, bringing the temperature way down. So we want to bring the temperature back up, and then we're going to lower the heat down. Once the shrimp is thoroughly cooked, then we're going to throw in the rice that we have going in a rice cooker. Again, a cup and a half of rice. Replace all the drug-growing fields with crocus fields. Everyone gets richer with no crime. There you go, Viking. That's the way to do it. That's the way. A fridge TARDIS. What are you talking about? That is the fridge. We put all the stuff inside of that TARDIS. Oh no, Killer! You goofed up. You should have brought food. I'm gonna give this a stir here. It's starting to bubble just a little bit, but it's not boiling. So again, it's probably going to be like about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, because they were pretty cold to get the shrimp thoroughly cooked, and then we're going to add the rice into it. But once the shrimp kind of cooks in it, we're going to give it another taste. It's going to take a little bit of time to get the flavors kind of thoroughly throughout it, but it certainly seems like it's in pretty good shape the last time I tasted it. So, like I said, again, it's like so much open to interpretation as far as jambalaya goes. Just the base of onions, celery, and bell peppers, and then you just kind of can go crazy from that point. You can, like I said, I'm using tomatoes. We're using, I think, chicken stock is pretty standard thing to be using using in it. But I mean, you could use vegetable stock or any kind of. You could just use water with it too. But you're gonna have to try and incorporate a little bit more flavor into it. You don't have to use shrimp. You could use, if you don't like seafood at all, you don't even have to put seafood in it. You can put, you could do chicken and sausage. Probably a couple of meats would be the way that I would recommend. But I mean, you could do chicken and sausage. Would probably be the other way that I would prefer this dish. But you can see how much we have here in this pot. We have a lot of jambalaya that we're gonna have, and this is probably enough for 4 people, because we're gonna be adding the rice on top of it, in this as well. So it's certainly gonna make it a really filling and really flavorful dish. It's freaking awesome. That was, in fact, that was a very copy-pasted knowledge bomb from Chunk. Creole jambalaya originates from the French Quarter of New Orleans. In the original European sector, it was an attempt by the Spanish to make paella in the New World, where saffron was not readily available due to import costs. Tomatoes became the substitute for saffron. My God. My God. Shrimp, chicken, and sausage. You can put shrimp, chicken, and sausage. In fact, when I was at the store, they had some... I almost got it. They had frozen catfish on sale, and I almost picked it up because I thought, like, wow, that sounds like a really great thing to throw in here instead of the shrimp, but I ended up not doing it. I ended up wanting to just go with the standard shrimp. Alright, those shrimp are starting to look pretty cooked. Not all the way quite yet. We're going to let it go a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste here, see what we got going on. I don't think... We'll see. See what we have going on here. It doesn't need... I think this is just about perfect. I think we're in really great shape. Really happy about it. It doesn't need any salt. Doesn't need any pepper. It's got a little bit of a spice to it. I'm not a huge fan of like crazy spicy stuff. If it's like painful to eat, then it is too hot for me. I would prefer. I like a little bit of spice in it, but I don't like going absolutely crazy with it. That's for sure. Looks tasty so far. What's up, Squeesha? How's it going, man? It looks freaking great. So you can see we're up to a boil. We're going to go ahead and lower the heat here way down. We do not need that to be happening. And these shrimp are definitely looking freaking fantastic. I think it's going to be time that we throw the rice in. I'm going to go ahead and like kind of take the spoon here and kind of like push one of the shrimp against the wall of the pan. Just kind of press through it. Just kind of make sure that it's cooked. Yeah, they're definitely great. They don't, like I said, they don't take long to cook. If you wanted to, like, if I were to like cook the shrimp at the same time that I did the sausage, it's gonna just like make the shrimp hard as a fucking rock. It's gonna be, well, not maybe not hard like a rock. It's gonna make it really rubbery. It's gonna be really chewy, and it's not gonna really be that pleasant. So we definitely want them to have a little bit of texture in that shrimp. And like I said, the celery is going to have a nice little bit of crunch in it too. It's definitely not going to be completely mush like it would be if you were like kind of typically if you're doing it in soup, it's going to be cooking for an extremely long time. Then it's going to kind of lose its texture. But here it's going to have a nice little crunch with it. So I didn't put a whole lot of spicy stuff in it. I'm just saying it's not like painful to eat. That's all. That's all. So now we're going to be throwing the rice in. Again, 1.5 cups of rice is what I have from the rice cooker here. And if you were going to be cooking the rice in the dish itself, it would have been at the point where, like, before we put the shrimp in, but after we did the seasoning, then you would throw the rice raw into the pot, bring it up to a boil, turn it down, turn the heat all the way down, not off, but as low as it will go, cover it, let it sit for 20 minutes. And that's before the shrimp. Like I said, you don't want to cook the shrimp for that long because it's going to make it all like chewing on a tire, so it's not going to be very pleasant. How about mushrooms in this? I wouldn't personally put mushrooms in this, but I mean, I have not experimented with mushrooms in the dish either. I'm not exactly sure how well it would go, but by all means, if you want to experiment with some mushrooms, then that's your prerogative. That is, if you really enjoy mushrooms, then throw them in there. Get them in there. Probably would want to brown the mushrooms, kind of like you do the meat, and get a lot of flavor out of the mushrooms when you do that. How often do we do this? Probably like every 2 or 3 weeks is the frequency of our cooking streams. So we got some nice white rice done here, and I'm going to go ahead and just scoop this over into that over into the pot. And I get all of it in. And this is 1.5 cups of rice. That is looking good. Go ahead and kind of scrape this off in there. And get this out of the way. And cooking the rice in the dish would kind of like make it one less dish that you had to do. But again, like I don't want to sit here for 20 minutes and wait for rice on stream. You know, it's not gonna be what we want to do. That is looking freaking amazing. You can see like the amount of food that we have here is quite tremendous, especially with all that shrimp in there. That is a lot of jambalaya. So could easily feed 4 people with this. And this is a little bit soupy for what I would probably prefer the jambalaya to be. So we're going to go ahead and kind of let this sit for a little bit longer in order to kind of get a little bit more of the moisture out. I kind of want it to be a little bit. Yeah, we definitely want a little bit less moisture in that for me personally. But I mean, you can have it a little bit more runny, or you can kind of cook most of the moisture out of it. It's whatever kind of your preference is with it. Like I said, those base flavors are kind of what it's all about. And then from there, it's just however you want. So that's what we got right there. That is the frickin' jambalaya. My God, it is frickin' pretty much done. I'm gonna let it cook down just a little bit more, but again, 1.5 cups of rice. We had andouille sausage, a couple of bags of shrimp, onions, bell peppers, celery. I put I had like a can, about 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes remaining. I threw that in there too. And since I had the tomatoes, I just seasoned it with some oregano and basil, and then I had a little bit of Tabasco sauce. Put some saffron in there for a secret ingredient, as Jenny figured it out. And then a little bit of the Cajun seasoning kind of too. That's what it says. It literally says Louisiana style Cajun seasoning. I'm like, all right, I picked it up at the store and I tried it. And it's not bad. It's not too bad at all. So we use that as well. But yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I cannot wait to dig into this to this jambalaya. It's starting to get kind of reduced down a little bit more. It's starting to get nice and thick. It's looking to be about right. Like when I'm kind of pulling it away, I'm just kind of like noticing how fast, like how fast it like kind of, you know, like refills the spot where I like kind of scoop it away, and that's kind of like how I'm determining how thick it is, and it's kind of starting to get there already. So I think that's definitely looking really freaking great. It smells delicious, and it's really, like I said, because it's something that you can experiment with so much. It's just like you could just throw like leftovers in, basically. If you know, it's just chopping a few vegetables and then throwing whatever the hell you feel like in there. It's absolutely freaking amazing. Is the Cajun seasoning spicy? It's not like overly spicy. That's why we added a good chunk of spice in with the crushed red peppers, a little bit of this kind of garlicky Tabasco-y sauce that I enjoy. We put a little bit of spice in as far as that goes, but it is not in and of itself extremely spicy. And like it's so much about once you get that, once you get the stock in, just about tasting and like seasoning to your own taste. So it's a really great experimental kind of dish that you can kind of make your own, and it's pretty fun. It's really frickin' fantastic. So yeah. Yeah, we have completed the jambalaya is what we made, Outlaw. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Cookie Tracker. This is really frickin', it smells frickin' amazing. I wish you guys could smell it. But anywho, so that is going to be it today. We've been going for a little over an hour. The cooking stream kind of flew by here. I'm definitely really happy with the dish. I'm really happy the way that it came out, and I'm glad you guys were able to kind of be a part of the cooking stream today. So, for those of you that don't know, we do a cooking stream every few weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks, otherwise, I do stream full-time. We have a stream every single day of the week. 2 p.m. Eastern is my standard start time, and that's GMT -4. So if you guys kind of feel like stopping in, hanging out, having a good time, we're going to be playing a lot of Darkest Dungeon the next couple of weeks. Time to eat. Yeah, exactly. Some man. So yeah, and so I will be back in just a couple of hours for our Darkest Dungeon New Game Plus Torchless file. Otherwise, before that, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and eat this jambalaya. Not all of it. Maybe all of it. So, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you in just a little bit less than 2 hours at 2. And, yeah, thanks so much for being a part of the cook stream. I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you shortly. Alright? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. Have a great have a great couple of hours. I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you so much. All the love. Have a good one, alright?